A lot of people quietly assume that fading eyesight is just one of those things you accept as the years go by. You wake up, and the world looks slightly washed out, like someone turned down the contrast on everything around you. You hold the newspaper a little farther from your face than you used to. You squint at the prices on the grocery shelf, and somehow the numbers refuse to come into focus. And when night falls and you're behind the wheel, the oncoming headlights bloom into uncomfortable starbursts that make grip the steering wheel just a bit tighter. But here's the truth that most doctors simply don't take the time to sit down and explain to you properly. It is not always just old age. The American Optometric Association is very clear on this point. Once you cross the age of 60, your eyes become significantly more fragile and far more vulnerable than they were in earlier decades. Conditions like chronic dry eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, and even sudden episodes of blurry vision in a single eye become dramatically more common. And the National Eye Institute has issued repeated warnings that vision loss among older adults is climbing at a pace we have rarely seen before in recorded history. What makes this situation especially dangerous is that the real damage often unfolds while you are fast asleep. At night, when you assume your body is peacefully resting and repairing itself, your retina, the thin light-sensitive tissue lining the very back of your eye, does not always receive the oxygen and the nutrients it desperately needs to recover. The delicate photoreceptor cells that allow you to see the world in sharp detail begin to break down slowly, silently, and in almost complete secrecy. And most people never notice a single thing until the damage has already taken hold. So here is the question I hear almost every single week inside my practice. Why is my vision getting blurrier? And is there anything natural I can actually do about it, without becoming dependent on expensive medication or being pushed toward risky surgery? Here is the hard truth that very few people want to say out loud. Most of the common solutions being offered out there, the lubricating eye drops, the ever stronger glasses prescriptions, even the laser procedures, they only manage the symptoms. They do not go after the underlying root cause of the problem. And that, frankly, is exactly why the vision care industry continues to generate billions of dollars in revenue year after year, while older adults keep struggling in the dark. A study published in JAMA Ophthalmology in 2023 confirmed what many researchers had quietly been observing for years. Age-related retinal damage very often begins with silent changes happening deep inside the eye. Oxidative stress, chronic low-grade inflammation, and the truly remarkable part is that these damaging changes are most active during the night, precisely when your eyes are supposed to be carrying out their deepest and most important repair work. But here is the genuinely good news, and this is the part I really want you to lean in and hear. More recent research has uncovered something truly exciting. Certain ordinary, everyday fruits contain powerful natural compounds that your eyes are quite literally craving during sleep. These specific nutrients can support the regeneration of damaged photoreceptor cells, improve blood circulation to the retina, and even help slow the progression of macular degeneration, which still remains the single leading cause of central vision loss in adults over the age of 60. In other words, you may be able to support clearer, sharper vision naturally, safely, and while you sleep, without reaching for yet another prescription bottle and without booking another anxious surgical consultation. And here is the one that surprises almost everybody. The number one fruit at the very top of this list, a fruit that most people already have sitting somewhere in their kitchen right now, contains a natural enzyme that research has shown can interfere with one of the most destructive processes behind cloudy lenses and the early formation of cataracts. My name is Dr. Henry Morgan, and I have spent many years working closely with older adults who are serious about protecting and preserving their precious eyesight using evidence-informed natural approaches alongside conventional care. Today, I am going to walk you through 7 specific fruits that the research suggests can support your eyes during their overnight repair, and exactly how to use each one the right way to get the most out of them. Before we dive in, I would genuinely love to know where in the world you are watching from right now. Drop your city or your country down in the comments below. We are building a real living global community here, a community of people who flatly refuse to accept vision loss as something inevitable and unavoidable. And one more thing, and this is genuinely important. Everything I share with you here today is purely educational in nature. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you are currently experiencing vision changes, blurry vision, or any concerns whatsoever about your eye health, please go and see a licensed eye care professional before making any changes to your diet, your supplements, or your daily lifestyle, your eyes are far too important to gamble with. Now, with all of that said, let us begin our countdown starting from number 7. So let us start with number 7. And this one is the humble kiwi. It is small, it is a little fuzzy on the outside, and you probably walk right past it in the grocery store every single week without a second glance. But for aging eyes, the kiwi is genuinely impressive, and the research strongly backs that up. Here is precisely why it matters. As we grow older, the retina, the part of your eye that captures incoming light and converts it into the signals your brain can actually read and interpret, becomes increasingly vulnerable. Oxidative stress steadily accumulates. The cells begin to wear down, and before you even realize what is happening, you find yourself squinting at distant road signs, or headlights appear as blinding starbursts when you drive at night, or you wake up every single morning with vision that stubbornly takes a full hour to clear. That is not simply aging, that is cellular damage. And there is growing evidence that it is genuinely addressable. The kiwi is absolutely loaded with two key nutrients that eye researchers keep coming back to again and again: lutein and zeaxanthin. Think of them as your eye's natural internal filters. They sit nestled inside the layers of your retina, absorbing harmful blue light and providing crucial antioxidant protection while your eyes move through their delicate nighttime repair process. On top of all that, the kiwi contains a unique combination of antioxidants along with a small amount of natural serotonin, which supports deeper, more restorative sleep. And deep sleep is precisely when your eyes carry out their most important repair work. The two go hand in hand far more than most people ever realize. The research here is meaningful. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that older adults who consumed 2 golden kiwis daily experienced measurable improvements in visual sharpness, along with reduced morning dryness and less eye redness. Two simple pieces of fruit, real measurable results. So how do you actually use it? Keep it beautifully simple. Eat 2 golden kiwis, not the green ones, about 1 hour before bed. Golden kiwis carry noticeably more lutein, they produce less acid, and they sit much easier on the stomach late at night, which genuinely matters when you are trying to protect your quality of sleep. And here is a detail that most people miss completely. Do not scoop all the way to the edge. That thin layer of flesh sitting right beneath the skin contains concentrated caffeic acid, a potent antioxidant. Just gently scoop the fruit out with a spoon and leave that valuable inner edge intact. Something as ordinary as a kiwi. Better night vision, less morning dryness, no pill and no procedure. Number 6 on our list is one that you probably already love, and that is watermelon. And if you have ever wondered why your vision is still frustratingly blurry a full hour after you wake up, you will absolutely want to hear this. As we age, the eyes dry out far faster than they once did. Blood flow to the retina gradually slows down, and that reduced circulation is a major contributor to that maddening morning blurriness that sometimes takes hours to fully clear, if it ever clears at all. Watermelon is over 90% water, so the hydration benefit is obvious right away. But the research points to something far deeper. Watermelon is one of the richest dietary sources of lycopene, a powerful carotenoid antioxidant that has been linked in observational studies to reduced oxidative damage in retinal cells and potential protective effects against age-related conditions, including cataracts and macular degeneration. Studies have also shown that people who eat watermelon regularly tend to carry higher circulating levels of lutein and zeaxanthin, those exact same vision nutrients we just discussed with the kiwi. And there is research showing that certain compounds in watermelon can support nitric oxide production and improve peripheral blood flow, which could translate to better oxygen and nutrient delivery to the retina during sleep, exactly when your eyes need it the most. How do you use it? Enjoy 1 to 2 cups of chilled seedless watermelon about 30 minutes before bed, but skip the salt entirely. Added sodium can raise intraocular pressure, which the Glaucoma Research Foundation identifies as a significant and potentially irreversible risk factor for vision loss. And here is a pro tip. Do not throw away the rind. That pale white section near the skin contains citrulline, an amino acid that supports healthy blood vessel function and may contribute to nighttime eye nourishment. You can blend it into a smoothie or lightly pickle it if you are feeling a bit adventurous in the kitchen. Coming in at number 5, and this is one that most people have genuinely never bought in their entire lives. We are talking about black currants. Tiny, deep purple, and incredibly easy to overlook. But when it comes to protecting your eyes, especially in low-light conditions, black currants are quietly remarkable. Here is the specific problem they address. retinal microinflammation, and reduce blood flow to the optic nerve. Over time, that chronic low-grade inflammation blurs your vision, creates those frustrating halos around headlights at night, and causes progressive eye strain in dim conditions. These are precisely the problems that a stronger glasses prescription simply cannot fix. What makes black currants so effective is their extraordinary anthocyanin content. Anthocyanins are the deep, rich pigments that give these little berries their striking color. And inside the eye, they accomplish several things at once. They calm inflammation, they support healthy blood vessel dilation, and they help restore rhodopsin, the visual pigment responsible for your eye's ability to adjust smoothly from bright light into darkness. The clinical research here is actually quite solid. A randomized placebo-controlled trial involving glaucoma patients found that 50 milligrams of blackcurrant anthocyanins daily, taken over a period of 24 months, significantly improved blood flow to the optic nerve head and the surrounding retinal areas and meaningfully slowed the progression of visual field loss compared to placebo. That is not a small or trivial finding. A separate pilot study in patients with normal tension glaucoma found that blackcurrant anthocyanins increased retinal blood flow without affecting eye pressure and helped normalize levels of endothelin, a compound deeply involved in blood vessel constriction. This points toward genuine neuroprotective potential, even in people without any diagnosed eye condition. There is also growing evidence that blackcurrant anthocyanins improve dark adaptation, the speed at which your eyes shift from bright to dim environments. For seniors who struggle with driving at night or moving between rooms with very different lighting, this is directly and personally relevant. How do you use them? Fresh black currants are genuinely hard to find in most ordinary grocery stores. So look instead for a standardized black currant anthocyanin extract, around 50 milligrams daily, taken in the evening alongside your other fruits. For better absorption, pair it with a small amount of healthy fat, like a few walnuts, or with a vitamin C source, like a single slice of orange. Nutrient synergy genuinely matters here, more than most people appreciate. Number 4 is one that you almost certainly already have sitting at home right now, and that is blueberries. But here is the part that truly surprises people. Most of us actually eat blueberries in a way that cancels out a significant portion of their eye. Protective benefits. What do blueberries target? Oxidative damage in your photoreceptors. Those are the specialized cells in your retina that allow you to focus, distinguish fine detail, and adapt to constant changes in light. Years of UV exposure quietly accumulate. Your natural antioxidant defenses gradually thin out, and slowly you start squinting at text, struggling in dim light, or asking yourself why your vision still looks blurry even with your glasses firmly on. The key compound in blueberries is pterostilbene, which is chemically related to resveratrol but significantly more bioavailable to your body. Research suggests it can actually cross the blood-retinal barrier and act directly on DNA damage in light-sensitive cells. That is a meaningful distinction from most dietary antioxidants, which never even reach the tissue that needs them most. A 2023 study published in Nutritional Neuroscience found that older adults who consumed wild blueberries daily for 12 weeks showed notable improvements in visual acuity and reported meaningfully less eye strain when viewing digital screens in low light conditions. But here is the critical detail you need to know. Not all blueberries deliver the same benefit. The large, shiny, cultivated varieties commonly sold in supermarkets have measurably lower antioxidant density, while wild blueberries, the small, dark ones you will typically find in the frozen section, carry nearly double the concentration of active compounds, and frozen is just as effective as fresh. How do you use them correctly? About a third of a cup of wild blueberries, roughly 45 minutes before bed. And here is the pro tip that most people get completely wrong. Do not combine them with dairy. The proteins in milk bind tightly to the anthocyanins and physically block their absorption in your gut. Instead, lightly freeze and then thaw your blueberries before eating them. That simple process breaks down the cell walls and dramatically increases the bioavailability of the antioxidants, meaning your eyes can actually access them during their overnight repair window. At number 3, and this one surprises almost everybody, we are talking about dragon fruit. Exotic, visually striking, and bright red on the inside. Research suggests it may be one of the most effective fruits for increasing oxygen delivery to your eyes during sleep. If you regularly wake up with tired, heavy eyes, even after a full night of rest, this one is genuinely worth paying very close attention to. You have surely seen it in stores. Pink on the outside, dramatic within. But the variety matters enormously here. You want the deep red flesh. The white varieties simply do not contain what we are after. The specific problem dragon fruit addresses is retinal hypoxia. That is when your retinal tissue is not receiving adequate oxygen during your sleep. When that happens, you can sleep a full 8 hours and still wake up with fatigued, heavy eyes. Your peripheral vision starts to blur. Colors look flatter and duller than they once did. And if it is left unaddressed over time, the cumulative damage can become significant. What is inside that makes it so special? Red dragon fruit is rich in betalains, a class of antioxidants that research shows can support nitric oxide production within your blood vessels. Nitric oxide is the molecule that relaxes and gently widens your capillaries, including the tiny ones that supply your retina. Wider capillaries mean more oxygen and more nutrients reaching that delicate retinal tissue during deep sleep. A 2022 study published in Frontiers in Aging Biology reported that participants who consumed red dragon fruit extract for 6 weeks showed meaningful improvements in ocular circulation, contrast sensitivity, and visual field depth. In practical everyday terms, they could see more clearly in low light and reported noticeable reductions in their blurry vision. How do you use it? Half a red-fleshed dragon fruit about an hour before bed. And here is the pro tip that almost everyone misses. Do not swallow the little black seeds whole. Chew them properly. Those seeds contain omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium, both of which play documented roles in retinal nerve health and repair. If you swallow them whole, you lose almost all of that valuable benefit. Number 2 on our list, and this one has thousands of years of history standing behind it, is the goji berry. Bright red, slightly sweet, and used in traditional Chinese medicine for over 2 full millennia, specifically for eye health. And now the modern clinical evidence is finally starting to line up. Here is the exact problem they target: macular thinning. The macula is the central zone of your retina. It is responsible for the sharp, detailed vision you rely on to read, to recognize the faces of loved ones, and to see color with clarity. As we age, oxidative stress and reduced circulation gradually degrade this precious tissue. That is the foundational process behind age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of irreversible vision loss in older adults across the entire world. What makes goji berries so exceptional is their incredible zeaxanthin content. Goji berries are among the very highest natural dietary sources of zeaxanthin on the entire planet. While lutein predominantly protects the outer retina, zeaxanthin concentrates specifically within the macula, your true center of vision. That targeted protection matters enormously. The clinical research is genuinely compelling. A 2021 study published in the journal Nutrients followed adults aged 60 to 80 who consumed dried goji berries 5 days a week for 90 days. The results showed a significant increase in macular pigment optical density, which is a direct and reliable measure of macular protection, and no participant in the study showed any further progression of macular degeneration during the entire trial period. For anyone who is quietly worried about losing their visual independence, that single finding deserves serious attention. How do you use them? Soak 2 tablespoons of dried goji berries in warm water for about 10 minutes. Then eat them roughly 30 minutes before bed. The soaking softens them and improves their digestibility, which genuinely matters for older digestive systems. And here is a pro tip with real science behind it. Pair your goji berries with a small square of high-quality dark chocolate, at least 85% cacao. The flavonoids in cocoa have been shown to enhance the absorption of zeaxanthin. Together, they create a synergy that your macula can actually put to use. And finally, number 1. The fruit that tops this entire list for your eyes is the papaya. It is not exotic, it is not expensive. You may actually have one sitting on your kitchen counter right now, but when you eat it correctly, it targets one of the most destructive and most overlooked processes behind blurry vision, cloudy lenses, and the early formation of cataracts. Here is the specific enemy that papaya goes after: glycation. That is the process by which excess blood glucose binds to the proteins in your eye tissue, forming advanced glycation end products that progressively cloud your lens and degrade your retina over time. Glycation is one of the most underappreciated contributors to age-related vision deterioration, and it is happening silently and continuously in most people over the age of 60. Papaya is rich in papain, a naturally occurring enzyme with documented anti-inflammatory and protein-modifying properties. It also delivers a powerful combination of vitamins A, C, and E, alongside folate, nutrients that research consistently links to tear film stability, retinal protection, and reduced oxidative stress inside the eye. A 2023 study published in Clinical Gerontology found that older adults who consumed Papaya in the evening showed lower levels of glycation markers in their follow-up testing, alongside stronger tear production and measurable improvements in contrast vision within just 6 weeks. For seniors dealing with dry eyes, blurry morning vision, or early-stage cataracts, those are deeply meaningful outcomes. How do you use it? 1 cup of ripe papaya cubes about an hour before bed. Two things matter enormously here. Fresh is far better than processed, and room temperature is better than cold. Take your papaya out of the refrigerator at least 30 to 60 minutes before eating it. Cold temperatures suppress the enzyme activity, and you want that papain at full strength when it reaches your digestive system. Do not pair it with dairy either, for the very same absorption blocking reason we discussed with the blueberries. And here is a pro tip. Squeeze fresh lime juice over your papaya before eating it. The vitamin C in lime meaningfully boosts your body's absorption of vitamin A. Your eyes get more of exactly what they need, and honestly, it tastes considerably better too. Now, before we wrap everything up, there are 5 rules I genuinely need you to hear, because without these, you could eat every single fruit on this list and still fail to get the full benefit. Rule 1. Do not combine these with high calcium foods. If you eat your papaya or your blueberries shortly after milk, yogurt, or calcium-fortified cereal, you are actively blocking your body's absorption of lutein and zeaxanthin. Research has shown that high calcium meals consumed alongside antioxidant-rich fruits can reduce the absorption of key eye nutrients by up to 30%. Give yourself at least 90 minutes between dairy and your fruit. Treat your evening fruit as a standalone snack, not as part of a larger meal. Rule 2. Always add a small amount of healthy fat. Most of the key nutrients inside these fruits are fat-soluble. Your body simply cannot fully absorb them without some fat present. A few walnuts, a teaspoon of flaxseed oil, or a few slices of avocado alongside your fruit can boost absorption by more than 50%, according to published research. The very same food, but dramatically better delivery to your eyes. Rule 3. Wash gently. This one genuinely surprises people. Aggressive scrubbing under hard-running water removes a significant portion of the surface antioxidants, particularly on blueberries and black currants, where the protective compounds are concentrated right in and near the skin. Rinse gently under cool water, pat them dry, and wash right before eating, not hours in advance. Rule 4. Room temperature over cold. Refrigeration suppresses the enzyme activity in several of these fruits, most notably the papain in papaya. Below a certain temperature, these enzymes lose their functional activity. Take your fruit out 30 to 60 minutes before eating and let it come to room temperature so that when you consume it, your body can extract the maximum possible benefit. Rule 5. Timing is everything. Eat your fruit 60 to 90 minutes before going to bed. Too early, and the nutrients are metabolized and cleared before your eyes has ever enter their primary repair window. Too late, and active digestion disrupts the very deep sleep your eyes need to actually do the work. Hit that window precisely, and you are giving these compounds the best possible chance to do what the research suggests they truly can. So let us bring it all together now. Blurry vision is not simply an inevitable consequence of aging. It is very often the direct result of specific, identifiable processes unfolding inside your eye tissue. Oxidative damage, inflammation, poor circulation, and glycation. And growing evidence suggests that certain fruits, eaten at the right time and in the right way, can meaningfully support your eye's natural overnight repair processes. Just think about reading without squinting, driving at night without that anxious white-knuckled grip on the steering wheel, waking up in the morning and actually seeing clearly within minutes, looking at the people you love most and seeing every single beautiful detail. That is what this is truly about. Not just clearer vision, but your independence, your confidence, and your quality of life. I want to hear from you now. If your eyesight became noticeably clearer tomorrow morning, what is the very first thing you would want to look at? Your family, a sunset, your garden? Leave your answer down in the comments. I read every single one, and I genuinely mean that. If this was helpful to you, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe for more evidence-informed natural approaches to protecting your vision and your health as you age. And please share this with someone over 60 in your life. You might genuinely make a real difference for them. This is Dr. Henry Morgan. Take good care of your eyes. They are truly irreplaceable.